Dear Mr. Shaji, it is to inform you that your son, Mr. Jithin Shaji, has been suspended from college for 2 days for his disrespect and ignorant behavior with the former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, during his visit to our college. Distinguished guests, Master of Ceremony and fellow Toastmasters, a very good evening to all. This is a suspension letter which I got in my college. Now, why the suspension? It was the graduation day of our seniors. The former President of India was the chief guest. There was a question and answer session after the presidential speech. The organizers of the event scheduled to have 10 questions in this particular session, as we had 10 departments in our college, so that each department get a chance to ask a question to the president. In my department, many students were ready to take this chance. It was a golden opportunity to meet the president. But we had only one chance to ask. So to avoid this confusion, our class teacher proposed to have a lot system, a lucky draw system, where the interested candidates, that means the interested students to ask, can write their name in a sheet and put in the lot. So the teacher took the sheet and she read out, "Dear students, today the luck goes with our Jithin." All surprised, and I was the most surprised among. Do you know the reason? I haven't given my name in the lucky draw. I was not interested to ask the question, and later I found that it was my idiot friend who wrote my name in a sheet and put it in the lucky draw. I was in the way-late situation. I was in something like a catch-22 situation, because I have read it across, but at that particular moment I faced the real catch-22 situation, because out of my stage fear and out of my lack of confidence to face the audience, somehow I wanted to get out from the list. A few days before this particular ceremony, I got to meet with the event coordinator in a restaurant. I succeeded in making good friendship with him. We had dinner, and I paid all his bills, and I also paid the bills for his takeaways for his next day's breakfast. And after our dinner, before saying goodbye, I requested him to take away my name from the list. Holding the takeaway packet in his hand, he couldn't say a no. I learned my first lesson of bribing. Later, the day came in, the president gave his presidential speech. The master of ceremony announced for the call for the question and answer session. Ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine what happened? I clearly remember the words of the MC. She said that, "Thank you, Mr. or His Excellency Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, for the enlightening speech. Now we have the question and answer session. Our first question comes from Mr. Jithin Shaji. Mr. Jithin, please come to the dais." Silence. Pin drop silence. My name was not removed from the list. My first attempt to bribe failed. Two things came to my mind. One was the restaurant bills, which I paid for the event coordinator's dinner and his takeaways. Secondly, a beautiful statement came to my mind. Friends are angels sent down to earth to show us our way, to help us to find our way. Exactly, I found my way. I stepped down from the auditorium. I went back home embarrassed. The very next day, the suspension letter came to my father. That evening, I got a call from one of my seniors who was there in the graduation ceremony. He was a true friend of mine. He consoled me about this event, the mishap happened, and he invited me to a club. I was a bit curious, and I was asking more about this club, because I was not in a mood to party out of my misfortune. Later he said only one thing: "Jithin, make sure that when you walk in, be in formal dress code." Formal dress code in a club? It was a strange thing for me. Upon his request, I went to the club. I walked into the club. It was a free fall. I met some astonishingly amazing people, and later I found that these people are spread across the world under the tag name. I think you guys can tell that. Under the tag name Toastmasters. There started the journey. Today, when I organized, the opening was laid down to me from that idiot friend who wrote my name in the chit and put in the lucky draw. The body of entire story carries with the embarrassment, the bribery, and the suspension letter which I got from my college. And finally, most excitingly, the conclusion. The conclusion drives me to an identity, to a tag name, Toastmaster Jithin. Thank you, and over to Master of Ceremony.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jithin. Like I said, it's a very distant relation